RWBY has abandoned Monty. Yeah, what the fuck was I cooking? I'm not gonna lie. That was a terrible title and thumbnail. Hello guys, my name is SolarArts. Welcome back to another video, and yes, another RWBY video talking about Monty, the GOAT, the greatest of all time. But I just want to emphasize some certain things, and yeah, let's just immediately get into it.
The right to do something original might be something like a right you earn. I mean, if you look at us, we piggyback on Halo for 10 years now.
And a great 10 years, just saying.
A great 10 years, but at the same time, it's like, we owe a lot of our success to Halo, and it's great.
The purpose of my last Monty video was to simply sit here and show the differences in the animation and just the series after he's gone and before he was gone. It was to show the change, the directions, the ideas, and just what we could have got versus what we have gotten thus far. And honestly, how the show was directed after he was gone and before he was gone. I use these points to try to show, well, is this really the script we were going to be given for RWBY if Monty was still here? Is this really the way things would have been going if he was still around? And in that video, I meant nothing negative by it at all. I was not trying to demean anybody who worked on the series. I was not trying to demean him. I was trying to just come to a logical conclusion of, is this how the story would actually go if he was around? And is this actually how the story would go if he wasn't around? So in that video, I got a bunch of comments, and some of the comments were asking Monty would hate the current RWBY. Monty wouldn't like this. Monty would hate this. Monty would dislike all of this. And then I had to sit there and think about it. Would Monty hate the current RWBY? And through all this searching, through all looking out his life and his mindset and how he acts with certain situations and how he treated his friends, his partners, I came to the conclusion, no. Monty would love the current RWBY. Monty would love everything we've gotten. Let's take a look at the achievements RWBY has gotten thus far. We have movies. We have more volumes than ever. The series visually looks better than anything we've seen volume 1 through 3. His team is still working hard. He still has the same writers that wrote the show from the beginning, and they've partnered with some very big people. I think Monty would be proud of the achievements we have with RWBY. However, and I think this is a big however, I think you could say Monty would want more from this series. I can't imagine Monty ever being mad at how far we've gotten. I could imagine Monty disliking some things being made or wanting more from certain aspects. And the main reason I see this is because Monty has stated in multiple interviews his disappointment with certain directions and certain things and the intention of others and how people work.
I've been listening to your channel. I really think you should pursue a job as a game designer. No joke, I'm 100% serious. I'll tell you right now, having been a game designer at Namco and Midway, that we need more game designers who know what they're talking about. First thing, when I entered game design, first thing the producer said to me is like, you like fighting games? Good, we're not making that because we want to make money.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, well, I know where I'm working, and this was Namco. It's like, okay. I'm not big on retro. Although I can understand why. I'm the fan guy, I should understand. It's like, when SF4 came out, I'm like, hey, look at this cast. It's everyone you remember from SF2, right? It's like, very obviously, I can tell they're banking on nostalgia to get attention.
Yep.
Do you know? And it's like, that's what Midway is doing with Mortal Kombat right now. It's like, I respect much more a company that's trying to establish new IPs, because retro is like a temporary solution. It's only going to be so much longer before that character list gets to be 50 again and you got to reboot one more time.
Yeah.
And it's like, and plus, if you honor retro, and I've seen like high-level play for certain characters in SF4, I feel like they're honoring like retro too much. Now, it was great for its time, but I also like moving forward. It's like, if I wanted to play retro, why not just go play the old game,
Sure.
So like, as much as I like SF4, it's like, oh shit, I'm high. And I think it's bad philosophy. There's two ways to look at games to me, and there's like the philosophy versus the actual gameplay.
I can understand him being extremely angry at how certain things were handled with the series. However, certain things was also out of their control and out of his control. Things like budget, things like time restraints, etc, etc, etc. So maybe Monty would be mad at the system of things. Maybe Monty would be mad at Rooster Teeth. Maybe Monty would be mad at the workers. But I can't see him hating the series. I think he would want best for the series. I think he will want more from the series. But I can't see him hating the series. Another point I got was, is this Monty's RWBY? And I have to ask you, what is Monty's RWBY? Monty has stated what his RWBY technically is.
My original vision was the trailers, right? Which there isn't much to say other than that, hey, let's have a lot of action and some cool girls. Like, it exceeds it in so many ways.
It's the 4 trailers. Everything else is an extension of the writers he's hired. And if you want to take that definition, perfectly fine. It's his definition. However, if you want it to say volume 1 through 3 is his version of RWBY, that's also fine. I can't blame you for that, because it's also a lot of his ideas and direction. So, if volume 1 through 3 is his RWBY, what is post volume 3? Is everything just Rooster Teeth's RWBY? And I have to ask you, could we even get Monty's RWBY? And the question is, no. It's impossible to get a dead man's version of something. And that sounds very harsh, but allow me to explain. You can't get a version of RWBY Monty wanted. Wanna know why? Because Monty was a very sporadic worker. Monty made a million ideas a second, and that's perfectly fine. I'm not going to fault him for his creativity. Hell, I fucking do the same thing. So, I'm not faulting him for his creativity, but I'm saying it's hard to stick to a man's script when the script constantly changes with new ideas. And I'm not going to lie, I have no issues with the script constantly changing, because what Monty put on the page was constantly amazing. A lot of people faulted him for that. Monty was very sporadic and needed to be reeled in, and I can kind of see where they're coming from, but the biggest issue I have with that statement is a lot of the ideas Monty presented were gold and became a lot of fan favorites. So many people fought him for adding random scenes here and there when he felt like it. But here's the thing, this is his series first of all, and 2, those moments were 9 times out of 10 extremely good and made for iconic moments in the series. So whether they were sporadic or not, they added something to the series. And would you rather have somebody add something that's really amazing out of nowhere, or would you rather have somebody plan something that has the potential to be good and or bad? If I had to, I'd pick the person who makes something up random on the spot that's really good than something planned that may or may not fit here or there. Anyways, the point is still, is this Monty's RWBY? And the answer would simply be no. It's not. And that's because it would never be Monty's RWBY no matter which way you flip it. For instance, let's say Monty wrote volume 1 through volume 9. Let's say he wrote all of it. Just every single detail, word for word, bar for bar. And Rooster Teeth was to copy it. An exact 100% replica copy. Would that be Monty's RWBY? The answer is no. And that sounds really bizarre, but here's the thing. Monty changes the placement of ideas when he works on something. Monty adds on to ideas when he works on something. Monty may take pieces of this and put it into other pieces. Monty may make things connect, although you may not actually see it. And that's the biggest thing I wish to point out. No matter if Monty wrote volume 1 through volume 9 and they were to copy it 100%, it would not be Monty's RWBY, because if Monty was still alive, that script will be changed a million of times. That script will be improved on a million of times. So that script would never even be the same script he gave to you way back when. The only way to get Monty's RWBY is to have him directly in front of your face writing the series if he was still alive. That's the only way to get an accurate representation of Monty's RWBY. And here's my rebuttal to that. Stop caring about if this is Monty's RWBY or not. Stop. Simply stop. It doesn't matter if this is Monty's RWBY or not. The biggest question you should ask yourself is this version of RWBY good? That's it. It's not about if this is Monty's RWBY, it's that is this a good RWBY? Is this a competent RWBY? Is this RWBY good enough to be something in like Hall of Fame? That's what you should ask yourself. Nobody cares, or nobody should care if this is a Monty Ohm RWBY, or is this a Rooster Teeth RWBY? Is this a Miles, Kersey, Eddie? No one should care whose RWBY it is. The main focus should always be, is this a good RWBY? Because if it's a good RWBY, Monty would be proud of it no matter what you do. That's the most healthiest thing I can recommend to everyone. Stop arguing and caring about if this is Monty's RWBY. Care about if it's a good RWBY. If it's a good RWBY, we've done enough. Can RWBY realistically get everything right? The big answer to that is frankly no. No series is perfect. Perfection is just something that's unachievable. Will RWBY get everything right? Of course not. No show gets everything right. But can RWBY be amazing and legendary? Of fucking course it can. All you have to do, give it time, give it the proper direction, give it the proper writers, proper motivation, etc, etc, etc. Like I said, hire me, bro, hire me. I'm right here. I will do the work for free. But in all seriousness, can RWBY be amazing? Of fucking course. That's not a question. Everything can be amazing given time, preparation, care, and love. Everything can. It's just up to the people who's working on it to provide that. Hey, if I was hired, I know I'ma give it my all. I can't speak for anybody else, but I know me, little old me, giving it my all. Every fucking day. And that's to simply say, stop being caught up with perfection. I know a lot of people chase after it, but RWBY will never be perfect. Just like your favorite series will never be perfect in the eyes of everyone. And that's perfectly fine. That's not a reason to diss it. That's not a reason to do whatever. The only thing you should complain about is RWBY being good enough. That's what you should ask yourself. Is RWBY good enough? Has it done enough? RWBY, in my eyes, it's a decent series. I like the series, and it's very personal to me. I have bias towards the series. But is the show amazingly well written, one of the top 10 greatest ever? No, I can't say that. RWBY isn't that in my eyes. Would I love it to become that? Hell yeah. Can it become that? Hell fucking yeah. Is it currently? No. It needs that time to improve. It needs that writing, that direction, that passion. And we could get that. Hope we get it. I hope. So, is RWBY perfect? No. Can it be? Yes. Lastly, I just want to say, enjoy the series. A lot of people hate this series too much, and I understand it. A lot of people view me as a hater for the series. A lot of people are like, this guy fucking sucks. All he does is hate the show, this. And truth is, I don't hate the show. I love the series. The series made me who I am today, and I will always praise the series. However, I will mention the flaws of the series so the series could then improve. I am extremely passionate about the series, and I say that. I will admit that. I am extremely passionate. I am extremely vocal about this series and the issues that I have with it. But I'm only that vocal because I wish for it to change and I wish for it to improve. I don't wish to fault the series. I have no issues with certain things of the series. I try to look at everything from an unbiased point of view, from a neutral point of view, while also just giving some criticism, some advice along the way. That's all I try to do. So, with that being said, just like the series, you don't have to be as passionate as me. I'm not telling you to dick suck the series and only praise it. Mention its flaws, but don't be too caught up in hating the series. Trust me, doing these RWBY videos and analysis have taught me a lot of things, and it's that a lot of people like to hate on this series. So many people don't even watch the videos I put out. Some of these people don't even care to watch these videos. They only like to go in here, see if you agree with them, and then type their hate comment about the series and say how bad the show is. And I could understand why they feel that way. A lot of these people are also passionate about RWBY and feel betrayed, so they have some sort of hate towards it. A lot of these people were good fans and then got harassed by the fandom and then started hating the series and the fans as a whole. So I could understand why they feel that way. But also, those people are still too obsessed with the idea of hating and hate so much that they forget to enjoy the series we have in front of us. Enjoy the good moments. The series isn't perfect. Stop chasing perfection, but enjoy the moments we do have. It's okay to want more from the series. I want more from the series, but don't let it consume you. Please don't let it consume you, because when you let it consume you, you turn into a hater. So have that balance. Praise the series, love it, love what it does currently, find some good in what it does currently, but also admit its wrongs. Don't just praise it, you know what I'm saying? That's the advice I could only give. I love you guys. I'll see you guys in the next video. And yeah, it feels so good to talk about my GOAT. So fucking good to talk about him. I don't think I'll have more Monty videos in the future besides, like, you know, stuff about him. But I don't think I'll have stuff detailing his life. But it feels so good to be able to talk about him. So yeah, thank you guys for allowing me the opportunity to, I don't know, it just feels good. I love you guys. I'll see you guys in the next video. Check out Neo Soul if you can. Link is in the description. Chapter 6 just got posted, and in my opinion, it's a pretty excellent read. That's a RWBY AU about Neo and myself. Anyways, I'm already said this a bunch of times, but I love you guys. I'll see you guys in the next video. I'll stop repeating myself. And yeah, peace.